A rental assistance program in Austin is keeping people housed, and we're hearing firsthand from some about how it's saving lives. Coming up, a program giving hope to struggling families this holiday season, plus the push to make Texas highways safer for tow truck drivers and first responders.
The storms are wrapping up. I'll have an update on your evening forecast and 80s returning this weekend. We'll talk about it on First Warning Weather.
In-depth, investigative. This is KXAN News at Noon.
Let's go outside right now, because if you were with us an hour ago, you couldn't see anything in this picture from our Estonian camera. Now the fog has dissipated. It's wicked clear now here, Tommy.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks for that. We got Tommy to stop hitting his vape pen so we could get these clouds out of downtown, right?
We pressed a button. Boop, 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 boop. Blue sky. And that's what happened.
Carbon captured his vape clouds.
Well, the high it's the craziest open ever. The high rise, it's still foggy.
Yeah, just a little bit.
It's a little bit clear. Look at this, blue sky filling back in. We got some sunshine through the clouds, right? Reflecting on the buildings. A big difference, as Dylan just said, in just the past, 30 minutes or so. This has just been the picture. Let me take you out to high. How about that? Blue sky. But in Austin, it's 64. Winds are light and variable. We'll see these temperatures kind of warm up a little bit. We have the cold front moving through, so you're going to feel that drier air out and about. 66 in Llano, 62 in Buda, 62 down in Kyle, 64 San Marcos, all dealing with the low to mid 60s at the moment. Tad warmer, perhaps a 70 down in Fayette County, where some of that instability and moisture still is. But look at these winds. You can tell where that cold front is. I mean, I can just draw it right here through Rockdale and Giddings, because west of that, winds up to 15, gusting to 20 miles per hour. Big picture is this front will be continuing to move through, and with that comes some storms up toward Milam County, north of, let's say, 77 and 190. We're still tracking some of that. Overall, though, it's going to be a very pleasant end and wrap up to the day-to-day. We'll talk about the afternoon planner, how temperatures will fall throughout the evening hours, back down to the 40s, which is a little more seasonable than where we've been these past few days. But a warm-up continues. 80s persist through the weekend. We'll talk about how 2025 could be a bit different temperature-wise. I'll show you that trend in just a bit.
Okay, looking forward to it, Tommy. Thank you very much. This morning, someone died in a car crash off of Highway 290 in Far East Austin. That's according to Austin Travis County EMS. Austin police say one car was involved in the crash at around 3:30 this morning. And while first responders were on scene, the eastbound exit ramp to Johnny Morris was closed. That is now back open. We are waiting for more details on this incident from law enforcement. Austin police are also investigating another deadly crash between a motorcycle and a pedestrian. EMS says it happened last night in the 6800 block of Highway 290. This is in the Oak Hill area near William Cannon. Officials say a motorcycle hit a pedestrian who was on the highway. 2 adults did die from that crash. And police are searching for an 8-year-old girl who was swept away in floodwaters in Sherman, Texas. Happened when her family's car hydroplaned into a creek after crashing on Highway 75 about 70 miles north of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Officials say there were 6 people in the car. 4 of them were rescued. But at least one person's body has been recovered from the car, which was found downstream. A police lieutenant says the 4 rescued people are expected to recover.
Thanks to the state and Governor Abbott and his office, we have all the assets that we need. We have all the equipment that we need, all the personnel that we need. So the only thing that I can communicate to the public or anybody who's wanting to do more is simply pray for a quick and successful recovery.
Police say the victims were from southern Oklahoma and were traveling to McKinney, Texas. Well, after federal funding for Austin's emergency rental assistance program ran out, the city pitched in $3.6 million this fiscal year to keep the program alive. KXAN's Grace Reeder takes a look at how it's going so far.
It's called the I Belong in Austin program, and last month the city of Austin distributed roughly $260,000 in rental assistance to people who may otherwise lose housing.
Our desire is to go further upstream in helping people to prevent homelessness.
But for at least one of the people involved, it's been a whole lot more than that. The city of Austin shared a letter from that person which said, in part, quote, I want to share what you did. I am bipolar and went without my meds for 2 weeks. I planned my end if I got evicted. My cats mean everything to me, and I'm friends with the head of a rescue who promised me they would be home together. I had a plan for them. I was going really dark.
I called so many places, one after another, no return calls. Then you called. My electricity was shut off on Tuesday. When you responded with a dollar amount, which in a million years I could not have imagined, I legitimately emailed the staff to make sure I wasn't crazy.
I have been crying tears of joy all day. This weight that felt like 10 million pounds is gone. It's hard being a single woman with no family.
You saved my life. I need you to know what you do matters. And if you're hiring, please let me know you saved me. And again, that one, we don't often get the stories, but when we do, it is heartwarming, and it's good to know that we are able to do some good for some families in Austin.
Grace Reeder, KXAN News.
So who qualifies for emergency rental help? The program serves households that earn 80% of the median family income and below, but it prioritizes those most in need. The city says most people applying earn 30% or below of the median family income. For a one-person household, that's about $25,000 a year. The program also prioritizes people facing eviction, and the application portal opens on the 1st through the 7th of every month. We've got details on how you can apply on our website at KXAN.com. Well, police in Hawaii are investigating after a body was found in the wheel well of a plane on Christmas Eve. United Airlines says the body was found after the Boeing 787 arrived on Maui from Chicago. United says it does not know how or when the person got into the wheel well. State officials said operations at the airport were normal and were not affected. With another round of holiday travel coming up, we have an important safety message about those you see working on the sides of road. KXAN's Brianna Hollis reports some think the move over, slow down laws are not doing enough.
We're going to be out there working throughout the holidays. Christmas Eve, Christmas, you know, when everybody's at home enjoying football and stuff, we're going to be out there working. So
Jeff Neenstead, a tow truck driver and board member of Texas's Tow Operators Association, says 39 people across the country were struck and killed while working on the side of the road this year. From first responders and tow truck drivers to folks changing a flat on their own cars.
So we ask you one thing. When you do see our emergency lights activated on the side of the road, please move over or slow down.
There are real lives behind these statistics. 2 years ago, a Mills County family lost tow truck driver, husband, and father Patrick Morin this way.
To make Patrick real to people, that this person was a man of great wisdom and value and deeply loved.
Neenstead worries there aren't harsh enough punishments for people who run into roadside workers, mentioning a Michigan case from this month where an 18-year-old driver got 2 years of probation for hitting and killing a 25-year-old tow operator.
You can't expect somebody to get the third degree on a first offense. Now, I understand our justice system, but our message isn't getting out.
Punishment ranges for striking emergency responders and other roadside workers vary state to state. Neenstead worries the inconsistency leads to the law not being taken as seriously as it should.
We're working right now on getting together a federal guideline for the slow down, move over law that can be handed down to states.
Brianna Hollis, KXAN News.
In 2023, Texas changed the penalties for people who break our state's move over or slow down law. Drivers can now be fined up to $1,250 for a first offense, and they can be put in jail and fined up to $4,000 if someone is seriously injured. Going in depth, according to AAA, nearly 90% of deadly roadside worker crashes in America happen where the speed limit is 55 miles per hour or higher. More than 80% of crashes happen in good weather, and more than 60% happen at night. Hey, welcome into KXAN News at noon. You can see that things have really cleared up outside. We're seeing that nice blue sky. This is a live look at High Texas, sister city to hello and what's up, Texas. It's a beautiful start here the day after Christmas. We'll walk just a block off of Georgetown Square with its bustling crowds of shoppers, and you'll find an old livery stable more than 100 years old. This is the shop of a master hatter, and it's where KXAN's Tom Miller learned about the time-worn process of hat making.
Oh, this is not just jammed up. The hat blank sits in like so. It clamps down.
Nate Funmaker's blocking machine is like most of the tools in his hat shop.
So this is a 140-year-old French fitter. It's called the Vermilion.
Decades, if not centuries old, and still being used well past its intended lifespan.
This is about a $30,000 press. I just had renovated in July.
The master hatter often buys his equipment secondhand.
This is an order we just finished.
Like his hats, you don't just find this stuff anywhere.
To me, a good hat is not just the quality of it, which I'm 100% about quality, but also making it look like their hat.
To do that, before an iron is ever picked up.
This is Ethan, my son, back here building a hat right now. He's ironing a hat.
Or measurement taken.
So his head measurement is 22 1/4.
Funmaker sits with his potential customer inside his store, Nathaniel's Custom Hats, on these same two stools at the front of his store.
We just do what we're doing, me and you are doing. We just sit here and talk, and it's funny how often people think I'm the artist that came up with that, and I did, but I listened to them too. I mainly listened to them, like whether they were a hiker, fishing, cowboy going to the National Finals Rodeo.
Funmaker considers himself an artist, as do these 150 sellers at Austin's Armadillo Christmas Bazaar.
I think people want to be able to touch and, not everything you can get online or through AI.
At a time when your holiday shopping is often just a click away, the demand for these types of goods, made more slowly, is expected to rise quickly, more than 9% each year.
Everything here seems so well made, with a lot of love and care.
That appeal is seen here too on a rainy weekday morning on the Georgetown Square, where Funmaker struggles to keep up.
We probably have about 300 orders. It's funny, I make a hat, it leaves the door, somebody walks in and orders a hat.
The hats take a full day to make and cost anywhere from $750 for rabbit hair to $2,500 for mink.
They kept saying, what do you want your legacy to be? And I don't like that word myself. I'm like, I said, when I'm gone, if my kids are proud of me, that's all I care about.
A man proudly preserving an art form.
These dents are called mule kicks.
In the shape of a hat. In Georgetown, Tom Miller, KXAN News.
And Tommy, you're from Boston.
Yes.
So you didn't grow up, I'm guessing you didn't grow up around a lot of cowboy hats.
No, bought a few though. My wife's from the Dallas area.
There you go. So you have bought one.
I've bought two. Yeah, up
like
in the
real
stockyards.
official ones.
Yeah, the stockyards of Fort Worth.
Man.
Not the touristy ones.
You're more Texan than I am. I've never owned one.
I don't have boots though. That's the big thing.
Okay, maybe I'm a little more Texan than you. I got
broken
boots.
spoke. If I ever have to step foot in there, I need some good cowboy boots.
You do.
I got the blue jeans though.
We'll help you out.
Shout out Coles.
We'll make it a weekend trip, yeah?
Yeah. All right.
What's the weather like?
Well, it's nice for a weekend trip.
Okay, good.
We're already planning on looking forward to that. Right now, some sunshine building in. Cold front moved through, some strong showers up toward Milam County. Non-severe, some lightning strikes, and I drew the arrows for where they're heading to the north and east in the coming few minutes here. Here's how a high-res model is putting some of these storms out of our area by the early afternoon hours. Sunshine returning as the cold front moves through. Drier air, winds out of the west. A nice pleasant feel to close out the afternoon into the evening. No severe threat for us in Central Texas anymore. An additional less than 1/10 of an inch for Rockdale down toward Fayette County. East of that, closer to the coast, still dealing with some strong to severe storms, so 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch for them. But in Austin and the Hill Country, absolutely nothing. Winds will gust up to 25 to 30 miles per hour out the door today and throughout the afternoon into the evening hours. That should subside overnight, heading off into your Friday morning. High temperature 75 in Austin, 75 in Bastrop, 71 in Lampasas and San Saba County. Our normal high this time of year, get this, 62 degrees. We are about 10 to 15 degrees warmer than that. And that trend will carry on throughout the next 7 days or so. Your evening planner, 71 by 5 p.m., 62 by 7, 59 by 9 p.m. Notice will be clear throughout the entirety of the afternoon into the evening hours. Here's your 3-day forecast. Clouds to sun today. Mostly sunny on Friday, 78 for tomorrow, and then 80 degrees on Saturday, almost 20 degrees warmer than our normal high. Will be dry through the weekend there. Let's talk about the temperature trend, right? It's just going to be warm. Wow, up until the new year, even then, still a little warmer than normal to kick off 2025. How about 82 degrees on Monday? Getting pretty close, if not surpassing our normal high temperature record. So it's going to be on the warm side, and it's going to be dry. That's the big story past today. 75 for a high, morning clouds and some thunderstorms that are most likely out toward Milam and let's say Fayette County. That should be clearing out in the next hour. Afternoon clearing, overall a drier and a beautiful end to the day today. Winds out of the west at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clearing skies tonight. Of course, you're going to feel that drier air. Winds will be calm. We walk you through the next 7 days. So now down to 10%. Remember, I bumped it from 70 earlier this morning. 78 for Friday, 80 on Saturday. That mostly sunny trend carries on through the weekend into the final few days of 2024. 82. It's pretty typical in Central Texas. Of course, with the warmest fall on record, we have to end on the warm side. Why not? But kicking off the new year, 65 on Wednesday as Texas, well, they're in Atlanta.
Japan Airlines said it experienced a cyber attack on Thursday morning. According to Japan Airlines, a cyber attack on its internal and external network equipment began at around 7:30, causing a malfunction in their system that communicates with external systems, leading to issues with their app and baggage check-in machines. It also caused delays to aircraft operated by Japan Airlines on both domestic and international flights. JAL says it deeply regrets any inconvenience caused to its customers and is considering how to identify and respond to the attacker. Well, 5 journalists were killed Thursday when their vehicle was struck in central Gaza. The Israeli army said its Air Force attacked the vehicle because members of the Islamic Jihad militant group were inside. NBC's Ralph Sanchez reports from Jerusalem.
Hey there, the Holy Land marking a second Christmas and a second Hanukkah with the war in Gaza still raging and Israeli hostages still in captivity in Gaza. There's been no let-up in Israeli airstrikes over the holiday period across the Strip. Early this morning, health authorities say 5 Palestinian journalists were killed when their van was hit by an Israeli missile outside of a hospital. They are from a network called Al-Quds TV. The network is saying that one of the journalists was actually waiting outside the hospital because his wife was giving birth to their child inside when this Israeli strike came down, completely destroying their press van. Israel is accusing these journalists of being Islamic Jihad operatives. They haven't yet offered details about that allegation. Ceasefire negotiations are continuing in Qatar. A senior Israeli delegation led by Israel's spy chief, the head of the Mossad, was there earlier in the week. It has now returned to Israel for discussions with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the political leadership. What we are seeing is both Israel and Hamas publicly accusing each other of adding new last-minute demands, which they say are slowing down these ceasefire negotiations. Now, it's not unusual to see this kind of bickering in public. It doesn't mean that the negotiations have collapsed altogether. It does mean it is looking increasingly unlikely that we are going to have a deal in place by New Year's, which had been the hope. There is, though, a general sense of urgency right now generated by President-elect Trump, who said that, in his words, there would be, quote, hell to pay if a deal was not in place by the time of his inauguration on January 20th. I'll send it back to you.
In-depth, investigative. This is KXAN News at Noon.
Okay, we're giving you a live look right now of downtown Austin. It's a totally different city. We were living in Fogtown, and now we're living in Austin. Great looking view there. It's a good start, or it's a better than what we were seeing this morning.
All right.
We were all talking about, like, wow, we didn't expect it to be so foggy this morning, except for this guy right here who forecasted it.
I give my credit to Rich Siegel. He was in this morning.
Rich Siegel.
Yeah, I kind of just...
Apologies. You guys are all...
If he's watching, Rich, thank you for just doing great on the forecast there. Visibility is dropping. Some blue sky is returning to the skies. One last look at the Austonian here. We'll take it to the full screen. There's some sunshine, Dylan, perhaps on the buildings.
Wow.
Whoa, blue sky. I mean, it's just going to be a nice afternoon hours. You know, you're walking the pets, going for a hike, maybe going to the hill country, spend some time with family this holiday season. It's a great day today. Still cloudy in Austin. The background, blue sky, that's coming our way. Let's give it an hour or two. Temperature check, we're beginning to warm up with some of that sunshine now creeping out. 68 in Orlando, 69 in Fredericksburg, 69 Round Mountain, 65 Marble Falls. Metro, mid-60s, and a little bit warmer where we're getting some instability to our eastern counties. Some 70s popping up here. High temperatures in the low to mid-70s for pretty much all of us today. Wind speeds, front came through. You're going to see these gusts begin to pick up. 15-mile-per-hour wind speeds, gusting at times up to 25 miles per hour, 24 miles per hour, and Burnett 22 miles per hour in Orlando down toward Blanco there. Dripping Springs, we're going to see these begin to increase throughout the next, let's say, hour or two. Not strong enough to obscure your Christmas decorations that are staked into the grass, but you'll notice the breeze out and about. All the storms are out of our area. Great news, severe weather threat is officially over. What does that mean for us? Well, sunny skies returning. We're going to be dry and clear, gusty in a warm weekend. We should be in the low 60s. I'm talking low to mid 80s. We'll show you how many days that will be. That's all coming up in just a bit.
All right, looking forward to it, Tommy. Thank you so much. It's now the day after Christmas, and you might be wondering what to do with your tree now that the holiday is over. Well, today is the day to give that tree a second life. Tree recycling begins today across Travis County. And joining us now is everyone's favorite reporter, KXAN's Barrett Tryon, to tell us what can we do with those trees.
Yeah, you know what, if you're Johnny on the spot and want to get rid of your tree, Travis County residents can do that at one of 5 free drop-off locations. It begins each morning at 7. They're open daily until 3:30 in the afternoon. Now, just make sure all those ornaments, tinsel decorations, make sure that's all off of the tree. And if that tree is taller than 6 feet, it's got to be chopped in half. Now, if curbside pickup might be easier for you, that also began today in the city of Austin. If you want that recycled, it has to be out on the curb by 5:30 in the morning. Now, like the drop-off locations, those trees have to be clear of anything on them. This is actually all part of the city of Austin's goal to reach zero waste by 2040. It is all thanks to some help from Texas Disposal Systems.
We are offering free drop-up starting the day after Christmas through the end of January. So you can just come on down, drop off your Christmas tree, and make sure the lights are off and all the tinsel and all that good stuff. And we'll make sure that it gets mulched and then composted.
Now, Austin residents can also recycle your tree beginning this weekend at Zilker Park. It begins this Saturday between 10 and 2. Williamson County residents can do it for free at the landfill in Hutto as well. We've got all these details, by the way, on our website, KXAN.com, including when that mulch will become available. Dylan.
All right, thank you so much, Barrett. Law enforcement agencies across Central Texas participated in Blue Santa this Christmas, which is where departments collect and deliver toys. As KXAN's Brenna Halls reports, efforts like this to engage with the community happen all year round, but those efforts can face challenges.
When you call 911, the police show up. You're supposed to trust officers to keep you safe and uphold the law. But not all communities do trust or feel comfortable with law enforcement. Part of what the Austin Police Department does about this is hold quarterly meetings in each district to meet with the public, discuss concerns, and give people the chance to get to know patrol officers in a non-emergency setting.
We invite the community to look at statistics, highlight the good work that officers do, meet new community members, have community members meet the officers, and listen to and hopefully address some of the community issues that they want to highlight to us.
Sergeant William Beck with the Austin Police Department oversees patrols for the southeast pocket of the city and plays a large role in putting these meetings together.
Very high level of community engagement, in particular in the Parker and Oltorf area, that has really helped highlight some of the issues and has helped motivate the community to start taking more action.
It's not always that easy, though, and Beck says the ultimate goal is to make every meeting that successful, but the main challenges involved, he says,
it's time and personnel. We don't have the officers to be able to be as robust as we want to be.
In a city like Austin, where the population boomed and the department is roughly 300 officers short, keeping up with 911 calls takes priority, where smaller departments can often have more flexibility to meaningfully engage on a day-to-day basis.
We're not call-driven. and we're encouraged to be proactive. We stay proactive.
There's also the unconventional way of connecting with the community, as seen through Detective Scott Baldridge and Sergeant Ben Mewis with Austin Police. Their efforts extend outside of a meeting room. The two have been tackling various running endeavors over the past 3 years and tracking their journeys on social media so the public can follow along and cheer them on. Brianna Hollis, KXAN News.
A 6th Street bar is giving back for the holidays. Friends, living up to its name, hosted a donation drive on Christmas for people experiencing homelessness. They gathered food, clothing, blankets, items for pets, and monetary donations.
People plan on it and depend on it each year, and it's a real beautiful thing that's gotten everybody closer.
The bar says it's become an annual tradition. The Lone Star State, home to NASA, SpaceX, and Boeing, just a few of the aerospace agencies in the state. But according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, there are more than 2,000 of those establishments across Texas. KXAN's Sarah Al-Sheikh reports how a new Austin nonprofit hopes to build the growing workforce demand.
And liftoff. Go Falcons, let freedom ring.
SWIFT is very much an organization that builds people to build rockets.
The Space Workforce Incubator for Texas, launching out of Austin with a clear mission: fill half of new space industry jobs with a Texas-driven workforce.
It's a network of people who care about building the space industry and making Texas the #1 space for space business in the world.
Through SWIFT, Jeff Tudor and Dr. Leon Van Stone say they'll foster collaboration between educational institutions, space industry leaders, and aspiring engineers.
Building the connective fabric or the connective tissue and centralizing it so that no matter where an interested party might be, if they're in West Texas, if they're in South Texas, if they're in North Texas, we made grants to Texas A&M, the rocket engine design team that just test fired successfully their engine. So we've made grants to the Rice Eclipse program for their engine that they're building.
The nonprofit provides funding as well as mentorship to prepare students for aerospace engineering.
Opportunity to people that might not be in a four-year institution like UT. Maybe they're going into ACC as a pathway, or maybe they're going into another community college like San Jacinto College, that we want to give them a platform through which they can get hands-on.
This after the state officially launched the Texas Space Commission earlier this year.
Part of a $350 million program supported by Governor Greg Abbott. The goal will be to identify and fund opportunities for research toward commercial space activity.
The governor's office says Texas has about 10% of all aerospace manufacturing jobs. Tudor and Van Stone hope SWIFT adds to that growing workforce.
And we need more people to engage in the space industry.
This is a big opportunity to bring space and the future, right, that represents to everyone here in Texas.
Sarah Al-Sheikh, KXAN News.
Austin Travis County EMS made sure to remember paramedics working Christmas shifts. The shift chief and commanders cooked up a Christmas spread for their crew. They made gumbo, chili, and a whole spread of desserts. This was for all the first responders working at Station 33 in Muller. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome into KXAN News at noon. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas celebration yesterday and you're taking it easy today. Maybe not having to go back to work just yet, so enjoying your time off. I hope you got some good weather here. Got the blue sky in the sky right now. Hopefully having a great start to your Thursday. Well, it's the season for cold weather and holiday cheer. Maybe not cold weather here in Texas, but it's definitely the season for travel, which could be a struggle for those who deal with anxiety over flying. May-Kay Beeler has some advice for those dreading their flight back home.
The main thing that causes people to have fear flying are twofold, really. One is crashing and dying, which seems obvious, but an even bigger problem is the fact that they feel trapped inside the airplane and they can't get out.
1 in 3 Americans reports being afraid or anxious of flying.
There's a sense of fear that comes over you that something may happen, even though you know nothing's going to happen. As long as the engines are on, you're okay.
What gives me sweaty palms about the flight, I definitely would think would be the takeoff and the landing.
If you experience a pounding heart, are nervous, restless, sweaty, and find it difficult to breathe at the airport, you may be a fearful flyer. Ron Nielsen is the founder of Fearless Flight, an internationally recognized fear of flying expert. Nielsen is an Air Force Academy graduate with 20,000 hours of military and commercial airline flying under his belt. This extensive experience aloft has exposed him to many nervous flyers. Helping soothe their nerves has become his passion project.
It's really an anxiety disorder. It has nothing to do with the airplane. We have a slogan that says, the pain in your brain is not from the plane. It's about the story that you're telling yourself.
The captain says the underlying cause of this all too common fear is
the feeling of not being in control.
The fear of flying, or aviophobia, adversely affects millions of people, limiting their careers and personal lives.
The way people overcome it is by being perseverant and patient with themselves. I have a threefold process I call my Fearless Flight method, and that is to 1, educate yourself, 2, learn how to disrupt or distract your thinking because that's what's causing the problem, and 3 is join a community of other people who are afraid to fly.
According to FlightFright.com, 2022 flying statistics report 40% of all people experience some form of anxiety when it comes to flying.
Something I can't really control, it's I just trust that the pilot will do what they need to do.
Captain Ron conducts online and in-person classes along with one-on-one guidance to help those white-knuckle flyers cope.
Any anxiety disorder is caused by what you think. Life isn't about what happens to us, it's about what you think about what happened to you.
Commercial airline incidents cause death in only once in 20 million flights. The last fatal U.S. airline crash was in 2009. Flight Fright stats say there was a 1 in a 3.37 billion chance of dying in a commercial plane crash in 2016. Since then, safety has improved significantly.
The next time you come to the airport, remember, you've survived the biggest risk that you'll have, and that was driving to the airport.
Well, people across Southeast Asia marked the 20th anniversary of the 2004 Boxing Day tsunami by paying tribute to those who died in one of the worst natural disasters on record. The Indian Ocean tsunami, triggered by a 9.1 magnitude earthquake off the coast of Indonesia's Aceh province on December 26, 2004, claimed more than 230,000 lives across India, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, Thailand, and 9 other countries. Hundreds of tsunami survivors and family members of the victims commemorated the anniversary in various parts of Indonesia, which accounted for more than half of the total dead from the disaster. Okay, Tommy, we're looking at blue skies now. Better looking conditions than what we saw this morning.
Absolutely, night and day, big difference. Remember the visibility this morning, and now it's gone and blue sky. You can drive again and look at the skyline. I'm not going to show you the skyline. You can go take a look for that. But here's our Bee Cave covert Bee Cave Auto Mall camera. Look at that, blue sky, some clouds, and the wind blowing out of the west. Could be gusty at times, up to 20 miles per hour. Here's the front. To the east of it, still some strong showers and thunderstorms, but for all of us in our area, we're dealing with some clearing skies west of I-35. Blue skies, still some overcast conditions for Milam down toward Fayette County and Bastrop. That should change in the coming hour or two. Rainfall totals, this is from our radar, observed anywhere between 1/4 of an inch up to 1/2 inch, if not some places surpassing an inch, but most of us stayed below that threshold. Overall today, a good soaking of rain east of the Austin metro area. High-res model puts all this out of our area in the coming, let's say, 30 to 45 minutes, and a beautiful end for your Thursday. A pleasant, drier day thanks to the cold front. Overnight tonight, we will be mostly clear. So big picture is, as we're dealing with the beautiful weather, 1/10 of an inch, maybe. That's towards the Bryan area, closer to the coast. Higher totals will be dry to close out the day today. We'll be gusty, though, up to 25 to 35 miles per hour. Winds will be out of the west. Not expecting any sort of damage. You don't have to go and double secure your inflatables in the front yard. You may notice a bit of a breeze out and about. High temperature, 75 in Austin, 75 Georgetown, up toward Lampasas and Milam County will stay in the upper 60s. Our normal high this time of year, 62, so we're much warmer than that. 71 by 5 p.m., 62 by 7 p.m. By 9 p.m., 59 degrees. No rain at all through the rest of the afternoon and overnight tonight. Here's your 3-day forecast. Much warmer than normal. Our normal high is 62, 78 on Friday, 80 degrees on Saturday with mostly sunny skies, continuing through the near future. And honestly, to close out the year, things are looking on the dry side. No rain expected for the next 7 days. High temperature trend. Again, our normal high, low 60s. There's that line that cuts right through. Near record high on Monday and also Saturday. 80s to close out December. Can you believe it? It was the warmest fall on record, and that trend is continuing well through December. But by early January, starting off Wednesday, 65 degrees, a little bit more seasonable to kick off 2025. 75 for a high temperature, morning clouds, and maybe a thunderstorm. That's out toward, of course, Milam and Fayette County. Most of us are dry, afternoon clearing, and overall just a great day to be out and about later on this afternoon into the evening. 47 tonight, clearing skies, and of course, it's going to be a beautiful and a seasonable night, and that trend of sunshine will continue across the next 7 days. 78 on Friday, 80 on Saturday, 82 on Monday. Next Wednesday, 65.
Okay, thank you so much for tracking all of that, Tommy. We hope to get an update from Austin police soon about a wreck that killed 2 people in East Austin last night. A motorcyclist crashed into a pedestrian on Highway 290. And since accuracy is important to us here at KXAN, we want to mention this happened in East Austin. Earlier in this broadcast and last night, we said it happened in Southwest Austin. We regret the error. Welcome back. A hallucinogenic cactus could be facing an uncertain future as a rise in unauthorized use and unlicensed poachers are threatening the population of peyote. Some Native American leaders are sounding the alarm, saying over-harvesting is threatening the plant. It's illegal to possess or use peyote here in the United States unless you're a member of the Native American Church. There are 3 licensed peyoteros here in the state who are allowed to harvest the plant for religious use. And if you grabbed a lottery ticket over the holidays, you might want to check to see if you're a billionaire. The Mega Millions jackpot has jumped up to over $1 billion after no winner was declared on Christmas Eve, making this Friday's drawing the 5th largest jackpot in game history. Experts say while the odds of winning the grand prize are 1 in over 300 million, the odds of winning any prize is just 1 in 24, so don't miss out on your chance to play. Tommy, you already got your ticket?
Well, not yet. I'm actually now considering. That was kind of a compelling read you just
go
did.
Get 24 tickets. So
you should scratch.
Your chances are pretty good to get something.
I must have scratched them, but we should lay them all out here on the screen. You can tell if one of us wins. We'll just grab it and run away, and you'll be like, well, there goes Dylan.
If I win, you won't see me on Monday.
I'll anchor
okay?
and do the weather if you win. How about that?
I'll do the weather right now for us.
Yeah, let's do that. Final look real quick. That 10% is going to get dropped in the next, let's say, 5 to 10 minutes. And then it's sunny skies, not a drop of rain to close out the new year. 80s back down to 65 by next Wednesday.
Well, that's a great start to our day there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's all I can ask for. No rain, and we have this like roller coaster of like warm weather and then like not so warm weather, but no cold weather.
You excited for the new year? Any sort of big plans?
For me, yeah, huge day for me on New Year's Day.
Okay.
Arizona State is playing UT, so
yeah, of course.
My alma mater going to take on UT, and hopefully forks up, they come out victorious.
Are you flying to Atlanta?
No,
no,
I'm going to be here.
Yeah.
I do know someone that is going, and I'm very jealous of them. Sure. I actually know a few people who are going. But what about you? New Year's Eve plans?
Yeah, you know, my first New Year's in Austin. We'll probably see if they drop a brisket or something when the clock strikes midnight. I don't know what they do around here.
They have a fireworks show.
There's a fireworks show. That is awesome. Yeah, I mean, something like that. It's going to be nice and cooler, but no signs of any sort of rain for the big New Year's Eve traditions.
Okay, well, that's good.
All those outdoor activities. Is there a parade in Austin on New Year's Day?
You know, I couldn't even tell you.
Usually is a parade. There might be. If there is a parade, it's going to be nice. So overall, it's going to be a great stretch of weather for us.
Great stretch of weather. I mean, anywhere you can go to be out. Are you working that night?
Not New Year's night. You'll catch me around town.
On New Year's night or New Year's Eve night?
How about both?
Wow. Whoa, okay, I think he's supposed to be working that, so we'll go check the schedules and maybe talk to our bosses real quick. But if you do have plans, if you don't have plans, whatever you're doing today, enjoy time with your family, enjoy time resting. Thank you so much for joining us here on KXAN News at noon. More news and weather coming up in 30 minutes. And of course, find us on KXAN.com.